Welcome back to Star Wars Nerds Unite, a discussion and review podcast focused on the Star Wars universe. I'm your host, Tim vanautreve. Joining me as always are Josh the Tosh, internet famous Mason.
Hello.
And Jennifer vanautreve.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hello.
So today we're going to be discussing Rebels, Season 4. I don't remember the episode number. 10.
Episode 10 and 11.
10 and 11.
Second half. After the gap.
After the break. Spoilers within. So if you haven't watched Rebels, or I guess if you don't care to, then you can listen to this. Who's doing the breakdown? Jenny? Everybody likes your breakdowns the best. Your synopsis.
Okay. Episode 10 is called Jedi Knight. So at the break, before the mid-season break, they were the rebel crew. They were on Lothal. They're trying to stop the TIE Defender project.
The factories.
And
they did
Hera,
a mission.
Yeah, Hera was captured at the very end. It was like the big cliffhanger is that Hera was captured. I was getting distracted by Tim's Legos.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's it. That was the cliffhanger. So now I can't do this while you're playing Legos.
Why?
Because it's distracting.
I'm not doing anything. I'm picking up a piece. I'm just making a stack of little studs.
Okay, are you done?
No, I'm not. There's still studs left.
There's at least 4 studs left.
We'll just wait till I'm finished.
I'll wait. There's 1.
So
2. So, I keep getting distracted because of your Legos.
I didn't even move.
Kanan at the last minute was going to go try and save Hera, and a Loth Wolf made him stop and said Doom to him.
Like a group of Loth Wolves.
Right,
but not Doom like OOM.
Right, his last name.
A group of Loth Wolves communicated something to Kanan, and he said, okay, I know what I have to do now. And that was the end of that episode. So this episode, the group is trying to figure out how to break Hera out. There's these huge winged creatures, like an albatross type thing, flying creatures that are on Lothal. I don't know. They have like Loth wolves, Loth cats, Loth big birds. I don't know what they are. But they decided to create these little gliders that they can use to fly in to where they have Hera, and they kind of look like they're just these birds because they fly so high above the ground that when you look up they just look like big birds. So they use that to...
Well, that plan was concocted by Ezra.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
because Kanan at the beginning of the episode says, I can't lead this mission. You have to lead the mission.
He wants Ezra to take charge because he said he actually says, I can't think straight because of my feelings for Hera, basically, and I don't want my feelings for her to get in the way of the mission. So it's all Ezra's idea, and they get in, and you see Hezra being interrogated. Hezra. Did I just say Hezra?
I don't know. Did you?
You see Hera. I'm still getting distracted over there.
Apparently cleaning and sorting is very distracting.
Jeez Louise.
My brain's about to explode.
I was gone for the weekend.
Clean.
I think my wife got ADD. She contracted ADD when I was away.
You see Hera getting interrogated by Governor Price. She has her locked in a chair, kind of like Rey when Kylo was interrogating her. And they're electrocuting her, shocking her with things, and Hera won't tell anybody anything. Thrawn comes in and is trying to just have a normal conversation with her about her family's artifact that he stole, and he wants to know the significance of the different pieces, and she won't
tell him. The Calicori?
Yeah, the Calicori. And she won't really tell him anything. And so he leaves, and then Governor Price decides to inject her with truth serum, and she gets it basically looks like she just gave her a bunch of morphine. Like that's how oh my gosh, I said Ezra again. That's how Hera kind of reacts to the medicine.
Are you insane?
Yeah, I guess. So she's really loopy and just starts acting like she's all doped up. And then right after she does that, Kanan is dropping in and she can see him through the window. And she's like, Kanan's here. And she's super out of it. But Price just thinks that she's hallucinating from the drugs, so she doesn't pay attention. And he comes in, saves the day, gets her, and they all there's like a moment where Ezra and Hera start having
Kanan and Hera.
Why do I keep saying Ezra? Oh my gosh.
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh. My brain is not right. Kanan and Hera have a moment, and she's like super affectionate with him. You know, like they've had this like relationship, but that it was like unspoken almost, and they weren't really affectionate with each other. But she's just letting it all out and totally showing her true emotions.
Because she's on drugs.
Because she's on drugs, and she's like...
Her defenses are down.
Right. She doesn't have any inhibitions. And I believe they kiss again at this point. And she ends up telling him that she loves him. And...
You didn't even mention that he gave himself a haircut. I'm very surprised.
Yeah, she tells... When she's all drugged up, he had cut his hair, his facial hair, everything. And then he starts going out without his little eye patch thingy.
It was kind of like when Luke Wilson cut his hair in Roll Tenenbaums.
Similar to that. Except
Luke
Wilson had eyes.
She tells him that she hates his hair. And it also was because she wasn't being polite about it at all. She's just like, I hate your hair.
It reminded me of a haircut where you have a mohawk, half mohawk on the top, and then shaved down to your head on the sides.
It was a horrible haircut.
But he had like a mullet in the back.
Yeah, little tufts of hair.
And he was like, it's the best I could do. I can't see. And like, why did you have to cut your hair? Like, there was no purpose in that.
He had to cleanse it. He had to purify.
Yeah, it was a metaphor.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so they have that moment, and...
He probably donated his hair to Locks of Love.
Yeah.
Beforehand, because he knew what was going down.
Long. You have to have a lot of hair for that.
I think they'll take any hair you'll give them.
I think you have to have 8 to 10 inches.
I think he had 8 to 10.
He probably had 8 to 10, counting the ponytail.
Okay.
You just didn't notice from the man bun.
Anyway, Governor Price and the Imperials are after them, and they all meet up, and they're near this huge fuel tank type thing, and the Governor Price tells the whoever Imperials to just aim and shoot at the fuel tank, because Ezra and Sabine are like in the ship right above it, and that's where Kanan and Hera are trying to get to. And so she thinks she can take them all out if they shoot the fuel tank and cause an explosion. And at first they hesitate, and they're like, but the fuel, and she's like, just do it. And so they start shooting at them, and Kanan uses the Force to create this barricade, like a wall blocking the explosion from the others. And Hera tries to run after him, and then he uses the Force to like push her, like literally force her back into the ship with the others. And he looks at her, and he's the only thing saving them is him holding off the flames. And he looks back at her for a second, and she like is trying to get to him, but literally can't move. And he like his vision comes back for a second. Like he looks over, and then he has his normal eyes just for a second, and then they fly away.
They don't fly away. He pushes them away.
He uses the Force to like force them away, and then everything explodes.
The fireball
and
consumes him.
he's completely gone. And
Nobody's ever really gone, Jen.
He is gone. It was the saddest moment in Rebels history.
I don't know. I don't know if it was the saddest.
What was sadder? More sad.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be a time that was more sad. Maybe when Saw tried to kill the little Genos and...
Oh.
Jenny, eye roll.
He wasn't even successful in that.
Yeah, it was still sad.
So why do you think he started being able to see at the end? Why do you think his eyes came back?
Well,
he probably
Filoni
used
said
the Force at the last, his last bit of power, so that he could look at Hera one more time.
It was just a moment of clarity, is what Dave Filoni said.
Yeah, he was blinded by his doubt in himself, and he finally understood. And so he had.
Well, and he learned his final lesson.
Yeah.
That sacrifice is the best thing that a Jedi can do. Just like Luke.
Luke didn't have to do that.
Why not?
Luke just kind of chose to retire.
No, he ultimately sacrificed himself.
Oh, whatever. He could have done more with his time.
The least
he used so much energy.
He didn't want to have to relax for a while. And
he
build
learned
it back
his
up.
lesson too late.
Yeah.
Just like Kanan.
Hopefully Ezra doesn't.
So it was super sad. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's not really dead. He's not really dead." People were texting me, asking me if I thought he was really dead before I had seen the show. And I'm like, well, I hope not, but I have no idea what you're talking about. Thanks for ruining it.
Who texted you?
My cousins.
Do they not listen to the podcast?
No, but she knows we have it, but she's never listened to it that I know of. So she just assumed that we knew.
It's Max.
We've only told them that Kanan's going to die 148 times.
That's what I told her eventually. I was like, well, we kind of thought everybody might die. Or
Not everybody.
At least a lot of them would die.
Yeah.
But it's still shocking. It's still sad and
I didn't think
hard
Kanan
to
was going to die.
Well, you're constantly wrong.
I know. You and my wife both point that out constantly.
I didn't watch the credits, but on Discord, I think it was Lady Meg mentioned that there was ashes. I guess there's a splash screen at the end that shows the Rebels logo. I never watched the credits that long to know.
I didn't see that either.
And she said that it was different. It was it looked like it was burning or something.
Oh.
And she thought it was very neat.
Wow.
It was a very, very good episode. That part was just a little hard to take.
It was telegraphed from the opening second.
It's been telegraphed for 2 seasons.
Yeah, but it was especially telegraphed in this episode. It was very cliche, sort of, or with her professing her love to him, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's gonna die. I wonder which of these moments he'll be dead in. We had a couple close calls in the episode, and then
I don't think there was that many close calls.
I don't remember.
There was a couple because I was waiting. I can't remember specifically what they were, but
I think you're wrong.
I don't remember.
The scariest moment was when he cut that hole in the bottom of the interrogation room, and he's floating above the air or above the ground. I don't know how high.
The magnetic.
I don't care. That's still terrifying.
It's not terrifying to a Jedi, unless you're Mace Windu.
Oh, zing! Good one.
Mm-hmm.
Max is so cute.
Max is here. Nora just brought him up. He has his first day of daycare tomorrow. I think that's why my brain is fried.
I don't think he knows yet.
He won't know.
Of course he doesn't know.
He'll be there and he'll just be.
Just be a baby.
Yeah.
I went back to work on Friday and my mom watched him. She had to have me come home early because he wouldn't eat anything. He slept for 3 hours when I first left, and then once he woke up, it was hard for her. He's blowing bubbles and spitting.
What? Any other thoughts on that episode? Because they played 2 episodes, right? Back to back.
We're gonna. Oh, it was just shocking. Everybody was trying to save him. They didn't want to leave him. Nobody would accept it.
That's not until the next episode.
Hera tried to run after him. I mean, that he had to push them away. They wouldn't have left.
Sure.
But he had like a calm about him, like the whole episode. Like he already knew exactly how it was going to go down.
Yeah. I heard Filoni likened his death to Gandalf's.
Yeah, he did. He's I can't remember that there was anything else super introspective shared. Is it they on the Rebels Recon episode they interviewed him? So
I should have watched that.
Yeah.
For this episode.
The next one, not the next episode, but the next 2 episodes, it's Pablo, and then for the final episode, it's like this panel, and it got leaked online today, on accident on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. So the end of the series has been spoiled. If you're interested in that sort of stuff.
Did you?
I'm sure you've already watched it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It comes out tomorrow. Why can't you just wait?
Why not? Why wait? I gain nothing by waiting. I lose nothing by reading.
So, do you want to rate this one?
Sure. What do you think?
I think it was like, I'll give it 9 lightsabers. It was a really good episode, but I can't give it a 10 because Kanan died.
Why? He had to die.
He didn't have
Yeah, but
to
I don't
die.
have
He
to
had to die.
like
He
it.
didn't have to die.
He did. What else would he do?
He
He
continued
would
to fight
have
the Empire.
babies with
But he
Hera.
didn't.
He would.
We already knew he didn't.
We didn't know that.
We knew it. Otherwise, he would have been involved with the rebellion because Hera was still involved with the rebellion.
How do we know he
Maybe
wasn't?
he was a stay-at-home Jedi dad.
Because they wouldn't have, if they had a Jedi, it would have come up.
So Ezra's going to die too?
I'm not going to tell you. I have firmly stated before that he's not going to die. I still don't think he's going to die.
Okay. Even
But
after reading your spoiler?
I'm not processing. The spoilers are in a lockbox in my brain right now that the other part of my brain cannot access. So everyone's safe. I won't spoil anything.
Josh has the tightest security of any brain.
That's right. It's impenetrable.
He's like the Las Vegas casino of brains.
Just a small portion, the lockbox.
So you watched The Leftovers?
Yeah.
That reminds me of like the last season when that Russian guy in the submarine does that crazy maneuver.
The Leftovers.
What?
The Russian guy in the submarine?
At the end when he does that crazy maneuver, he's naked and he does that crazy maneuver to unlock the box.
Oh, that's not a Russian guy. That's a French guy.
Okay. I thought he was Russian.
Well, that's
Whatever.
why you threw me off.
Okay. Like that.
What are you talking about? Yeah,
That kind of-
he sets off a nuclear ballistic
But
missile.
it's like
It's
in
designed
this
for
room where
two people to turn the keys simultaneously.
And he
gets
is some
completely
crazy
naked.
flexible.
And he uses his feet and his arms, and he does this yoga maneuver. No idea why he got completely naked, but that was necessary.
And he had to run through the whole ship naked.
Sideshow Bob did that in a recent episode of The Simpsons too.
Yeah, completely naked.
Interestingly enough, I don't know.
Did he even take his shoes off?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and he was very dexterous with his gigantic feet.
I don't know
if it was because it was
where you
they were
got
just
that
trying to
reference from.
Me?
Yeah.
I was thinking about like, I don't know, when you were saying lockbox, it was reminding me of that because you're.
Turning a key.
I don't know.
Naked dude turning two keys at the same time. Lockbox.
Josh's brain.
That's what, yeah, thinking of a naked French guy in Josh's head.
So why can't Kanan's death be higher than a 9?
Because I'm not happy about it. I don't want to give a 10 on the episode where
You sound like
the
the
best character is
people who are
gone.
like Last Jedi apologists. Or
Oh,
the ones who are
whatever.
angry that Luke isn't.
It's not like that at all.
It is. You didn't get your fantasy fulfilled.
I didn't have a fantasy.
Your fantasy was Hera and Kanan.
Oh yeah,
Having
Going
Jedi
off.
babies.
those living
Underneath the
them
force
living
tree.
happily ever after. I guess
Right.
I did. I'm not complaining about the episode. It was really, really good.
But you're knocking off points because of the plot. You're saying, I don't like that Kanan died.
If I don't give my rating based on my opinion, then what is the point?
I'm just trying to point out that your opinion's invalid.
8 lightsabers.
Whoa.
I thought it was 9.5.
I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. I wish it wasn't so telegraphed.
What,
I didn't think it
what
was
do you
that telegraphed.
mean?
I thought it was pretty cliche.
He's saying
too.
that, right, they're using tropes
Yeah.
for when you know it. There's times in a movie or a show
Or a book even.
where
but
you
usually
know a
visual.
character's going to die.
If my cousin wouldn't have sent me that dumb text, I would have been completely shocked that he died.
Not
I wouldn't have believed that it was
No,
true.
he's talking about just within the episode.
Yes, he
So
died.
all the cues, like him,
I know.
him
I'm
cutting
saying
his hair.
I would have been shocked at the end of the episode. I wouldn't have picked up on anything in the episode.
As soon as they said they loved each other,
he
Yeah,
start
you knew he was
start
he was
filling
done.
out the death certificate right now.
Time of death.
4 minutes into the episode.
I didn't think that.
Well, then you're not very perceptive.
I am very perceptive.
You were more in the moment than we were. We were viewing it from an outside perspective and analyzing the information coming in. You were just absorbing it.
I was just enjoying the show.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You were sucked in for the ride.
Yeah.
Whereas we were
That's why I
analyzing
gave
the
it a
ride
9.
and judging it.
All right.
Well, I don't know how Tim could have been that analytical. He was watching something on his phone at the same time.
No, it wasn't.
You're playing your game.
It's a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
That makes it okay.
But
I say 9 point. I said 9.5.
yeah, 9.5.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was really good.
The next episode is called Dume. Dume.
Yeah, I'll synopsize it because that was a terrible synopsis.
Yeah, I'm not.
And this one doesn't have a whole lot to it.
Tim was
Yeah, he was sorting things.
sorting things in front of me and playing with his toys, and it was distracting me.
Oh, now add a baby and sorting going on.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, so the ghost crew gets back to their little impromptu base on Lothal, and they're all angry, and nobody will tell Zeb what's going on, and he finally hears that Kanan's gone. So he and Sabine, they get angry, and they decide they're gonna go blow up something.
Take action.
We're just
Yeah.
gonna go blow stuff up.
That's the way they're dealing with this death.
Whereas Hera kind of goes off and sulks in
She's like,
Kanan's
"What's
little
the point?"
cave. Yeah, why are we going on? And there's a sweet little scene where Chopper rolls up to her and holds her hand with his
Yeah.
little droid arm.
Yeah, that's cute.
And she decides, Chopper convinces her to add Kanan to her Calicori. And Ezra, meanwhile,
Oh, because I forgot to say in the last episode, Kanan got her Calicori back
right,
for her.
he stole it back. So anyways,
Sorry.
that's what the other characters are doing. Ezra ends up chasing Loth Wolves, then the Loth Wolves chase him, and then he has a weird vision where the giant Loth Wolf that kind of looks like Kanan, it's got blue eyes that Kanan had, and it's got these markings on his head that's similar to his old double eye patch thing.
Mask, yeah.
And the wolf says Dume, and then he wakes up and he finds this
No,
weird.
he says a ton to him.
All that matters is he says
He
Doom.
tells him to go to the Jedi Temple.
He doesn't explicitly tell him.
Yeah, he does.
I don't think that he does. I think
he
Luke.
tells him a lot.
Luke. I think Ezra infers it.
He gives him. I don't know. He talks to him a lot. It's not just one word.
All
He
right,
goes on and on.
it's irrelevant.
And the wolves were mad at him. They were like growling at
Well,
him.
that's the thing. He thinks they're mad at him,
They were acting mad at him.
but who knows? He seems lost because he doesn't have Kanan. he feels let down.
He doesn't know what to do.
And so he finds this tablet, and it's got all these like gold etchings on them that look like fists in various hand positions, and there's lots of like circles and weird lines. And he takes it back, and of course Sabine, the artist, is like, yeah, this is art, we'll figure it out. I'll translate something that no one's translated for hundreds of years, because I'm an artist.
Right. All artists are experts on art.
So then Hera gets, she's like, we're going to finish the mission. Oh, the other big thing. I didn't even say what Zeb and Sabine go do. When they go to go blow stuff up, they end up finding out that there's this, like, parade being scheduled and all the factories are turned off. And then they hear some traffic in Imperial comms, and they find out that because the fuel tanks got destroyed, the factories can't run. Mm-hmm. So really their mission was successful, even though...
The Kanan completed the mission.
Well, he didn't really do that.
That's what they all say.
I know, but that's stupid. He didn't do that. He stood there, and the Imperials completed the mission.
Right.
They completed their own mission.
So anyways...
They also...
They fight... Rook, who goes invis, like, total rogue hacker. And they end up defeating him because Sabine paints him pink.
He keeps...
Yeah, I thought it was weird that she chose to put a paint bomb on him instead of like a real bomb.
Yeah, well.
She didn't know where he was, and she wanted something on him so they could see.
But if you could stick a paint bomb on him, you could stick a bomb.
Right. She also she was like, "Hey, you!" right before she snuck up on him.
Yeah.
So that he had time to react. Like, what? Just shoot him.
Well, they paint bombed him.
And then they end up letting him go.
Right, they send him back.
Zeb almost
was going to beat him
to death, and then Sabine stopped him. And then Sabine painted his whole body while he was passed out, like in graffiti, and then they sent him back as a message.
Right.
That they were still there.
So everybody gets back together at the end. Sabine and Zeb say, "Hey, our mission was successful." Hera says, "Hey, let's do stuff." Woo. And Ezra's like, "I got this stone tablet. Do we have any artists here? Let's go to the Jedi Temple." And that was the end of the episode.
Yep.
So it was, a bridge episode. It was
largely about them dealing with their grief in their various ways.
They were letting the story air out for a while. And because the big event just happened. So it was fine.
So the Governor Price was trying... did you talk about the parade?
Yeah. I said they're having a parade.
She was trying to cover up the reason that everything was halted with the TIE Defenders was because she told them to blow up the fuel tanks.
Right.
And she decided to create this parade so maybe Thrawn wouldn't realize what she did, but he figured it out, and he was
less than pleased.
Right. Ancillary, unimportant storyline. Price is dumb. She should not be in command. We've established this. She's an appointed political position, not a military commander. So I choose to ignore her. She was wearing like more of her mystery military costumes in the last 2 episodes as well.
I think she looks just like Kate Blanchett.
As Hela.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
Matt's trying to talk into the mic.
Not really.
Yes, he is.
He's saying there's a blob type thing in front of me that I can't see.
He can see now.
No, he can't focus. Yeah.
See?
Yeah. You can make noises.
He's talking to you.
No, he's not.
He's telling you to shut your mouth.
He's not saying anything.
Shut your yammer box.
He's making noise.
Well, he's practicing, telling you to shut your yammer hole.
Uh-huh. So we need to rate the episode. Unless you have any other insightful insights.
No.
I find...
Well, except... Are you sure that the Dume wolf was in the other one? I thought this was the first time we've seen Dume.
This is a new giant wolf that looks like Kanan.
And its name is Dume, right?
It says Dume.
It says Dume. And then it says other things.
But you said there was another that Kanan talked to a wolf named Dume earlier.
No, he talked to a wolf, and the wolf said Dume to him.
Oh, okay.
The wolves don't have names.
So
They're not like Fritz and Larry.
But this is a new wolf. Okay.
This isn't even a real wolf. It's a dream that Ezra has.
What? Why do you think that?
Because it was.
Yeah, he wakes up.
Yeah, but that's happened to him before with the wolves.
That doesn't mean they were real then either.
This is certainly a dream sequence.
Right.
Some sort of force dream.
Yeah. Which are never high on my list. Dream sequences are tad lame. And because they did a dream sequence, I'm giving it a 6.
Wow.
I don't like dream sequences. 6 is good still. It was above average.
6 is good. You never give anything under than a 7 or 8.
Yeah, I do.
6 is almost like...
6 is like a 0.2.
No, it's not.
I'd say 7.5. Because it moved the story forward.
Yeah.
It was intriguing.
I thought it was fine.
They resolved all the...
You've never given a 6 before.
Yes, I have. I've given lots of 6s.
Kanan dying.
I was going to give it an 8. It definitely wasn't as good as the last one. But it was...
It's already...
Okay.
Oh, man. My backups at work aren't working.
Your what?
My backups at work are failing.
Oh.
I named the episode and everything so that we were going to talk about all 4 episodes. Now I got to change it.
You do have to change it.
All right.
Let's do a couple letters. We have 7 minutes to do letters.
All right.
I think. That'll get us to... I guess we're only at 32 minutes. We can do 8 minutes of letters.
I forgot what the heck the name of the app is.
Drive?
Sheets and Docs.
I just go straight to Drive. Don't you have Drive?
Yeah.
So go straight to Drive and then click on it. And it'll open up the appropriate app.
Yeah. I just wasn't thinking about it. All right. If you got it open already,
I do.
Read.
First letter is the pilot. Hello, fellow nerds. I don't have much to say for this first email. Thanks. Bye. Not really. That's not what he said.
This is why Josh doesn't read the letter.
It was funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was
But
funny
I
the way
thoroughly
my wife said
enjoyed
I'm
your
funny.
guys' podcast thus far, and I'm always looking forward to the next episode. I just listened to episode 135 and caught Josh the Tosh's call out to Car Talk. Great radio station, whether you're listening for actual mechanic advice or just plain nonsense. That's all for now. Keep up the good work. My prayers go out to Tim and Jennifer, as I am sure the baby will be on its way anytime soon. Spoiler alert.
He's 12 weeks old now. Thank you.
Hashtag SWNU, hashtag muster, hashtag The Last Jedi, hashtag Infinity War trailer. That's how far back this was. Don't drive like my brother, Nate. P.S. I agree with basically everything that Josh has to say on the podcast.
Wow.
Might be because I'm an engineer as well, or just because he uses logic.
Boom.
There you go.
Served up. Wow. On Star Wars Battlefront 2. This one's from Nerd Cinco. He says, spoilers. Hello, SWNU, Baby Max, and Wasps, Spiders, or any surprise guest that might make Tim scream like a girl.
All surprise guests make Tim scream like a girl.
Since you guys are having a SWB2, Star Wars Battlefront 2 show, I want to share my thoughts on the story, multiplayer, and the whole loot box mess. So I'm going to take an aside here and just say, we didn't do that show.
No.
Sorry.
This will be the show. This is the SWB2 show.
First, the game is amazing. The multiplayer gameplay is super fun, and the campaign alone is worth the game. The story ties together a lot of the comic and other literature from the new canon, and is a great lead to The Last Jedi. Iden Versio's journey is engaging and had me wanting to finish with the campaign in one sitting. I liked her story arc, even though it was somewhat predictable, although it was treated as a plot twist by marketing leading up to the game. I thought her defection to the rebels had a very natural flow. It made sense that the destruction of her homeworld would be the thing that made her flip. It was still a selfish act, but it ultimately made her see the weakness of the Empire. She didn't turn because she saw the Empire as evil, but how far the Empire had fallen. And the Last Jedi seed with the Luke mission was amazing. I hope it ties back to Rey somehow, but I'm sure at least that compass will have a major role in The Last Jedi.
It didn't.
So overall, I loved it. The multiplayer is amazeballs. I'm a huge fan of the space battles. It really made me miss Rogue Squadron. It did me too. I do wish we would have more space battle maps. The ground battles still throw me off a little. Battlefront not being a true FPS makes it a little hard to master, but it's still fun. Especially when playing as a battle droid, their banter is hilarious.
We should talk. I'm going to cut in while we're talking. Did you play the DLC? I assume you did.
No.
You didn't play the DLC missions that came out right before the movie?
Nope.
The DLC missions added on where Inferno Squad is the group that they went and stole some plans for that dreadnought that's at the beginning of the movie. That's how they knew where to blow it up.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I heard about it.
It linked in really well, and it was a fun little pre-campaign. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I should grab it. I just haven't taken the time. I do think EA got greedy with the loot system, and it was a decision made based on numbers and not the integrity of the product. It was a fundamental misunderstanding of the Star Wars public, and I'm glad that the response was so strong that it made EA shut down the microtransactions altogether. It's not a permanent fix at all, but I bet it made Disney reconsider putting all the video game eggs on the EA basket. Hopefully we get other developers for future Star Wars games, although it seems unlikely. NerdCinco out.
The other big thing is there was another game in development by Visceral Studios that was supposed to be kind of like a Western style kind of open world game, like kind of like Red Dead Redemption or whatever, but
wasn't
more
it like
Star Wars.
1313 or something?
No, that was prior to the Disney acquisition.
Okay.
This one was all EA, and the whole studio got canned, and the project got scrapped after like 2 years of development. So EA is not doing so hot with the license.
Well, there's like actual real rumors that Disney's looking to pull it,
Right.
which would be crazy. What happens to the existing games, I wonder? Like Galaxy of Heroes.
It would stay. They would just lose their license to publish future games.
Fair enough. Was the loot system really that different than games are now? It didn't seem like it was to me.
The microtransactions that didn't end up making it into the game. So the loot system is you get these crates, and the crates can either give you these star cards directly of various rarities, or they can give you parts or credits. Credits you can buy more crates. The parts you can craft star cards. And the star cards are kind of freaking overpowered. So if they left it the way it was, you could buy a bunch of loot crates and level up your star cards really high. And then you would be playing in a match, and if you just had some guy who just bought the game, he wouldn't have good star cards. He might have a single star card. Meanwhile, the guy who spent tons of money on loot crates would have 4 of the highest level star cards, and they make him significantly more powerful than the noob. So it was completely pay to win. The difference of other modern first-person shooters is that they don't have purchasable loot crates. It's a similar style where you level up characters and they have traits that... But really, it's more access to weapons or loadouts. It's not increasing your stats. So the fact that it increased your stats was a big time negative, and it was random. Like in most first person shooters that have classes, if you play the class and you level it up, you get access to these things. Like it's not random. You know, if I get level 5 in Scout, I get this. If I get 10, I get this. In Battlefront, I might get a crate. I don't know. And that crate might have something relevant to the class I just played, or it might have something useless.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand better. It isn't like all cosmetics.
It's non-cosmetics. It's all gameplay impacting things.
Next one is from
Randall.
Randall?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Hey, nerd leaders. Man, are you excited for The Last Jedi? Yeah, I was. Wait, what kind of question is that? Just 9 more days and this email could be on The Last Jedi reaction episode. Yeah, it wasn't. And I'm sad because I won't be around to watch it, as I will be in Japan. So wish me luck to resist the urge to check Instagram. #spoilers. I think he said he did manage to get away from spoilers.
Yeah.
I've recently started listening to the Star Wars Ultimate soundtrack on Spotify while studying. Pardon me. It's super nice. Fun fact. Did you know that the Sith were originally called Damned, but a British band with the same name debuted in February 1977, forcing Lucas to dub over the word Sith in post-production, and to this day, Lucas hates all punk rock. Is that true?
I don't think the word Sith is in
Yeah, I don't think it is.
the original trilogy. I don't think the Sith word exists until the prequels in film.
Yeah, they say dark side a lot.
Yeah, I don't think the word Sith is in the original movies.
Anyway, I'm trying to get a Lego by using your Amazon link, but it never ships to Singapore. Never. One last thing. Here's a joke for the holidays. Why did Star Wars episodes 4, 5, 6 come out before 1, 2, 3? Because in charge of planning, Yoda was. Zing. And yes, in Singapore, English is the main language in the Singapore. SG is Singapore. He keeps putting SG. It messes me up, man, because SG, I want to say something else. I don't even know.
I don't know what. Suicide Girl?
Yeah, something.
I have no idea.
I will be out of communications for a while, so happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year from the other side of the world, Singapore. Wish me luck for my advanced driving test in Singapore.
I'm either
Happy
having
holidays.
major deja vu or we read this a
Randall
long
out.
time ago.
Maybe we
I don't
read it
know.
on the Last Jedi episode. If not, you know
Randall talks about Singapore a lot because we
He
ask
does.
him questions.
Singapore.
No, but I specifically remember him writing one right before he left.
He
And
sends a lot of emails, Jen.
I know, maybe.
Guten Tag. This one is from Ben. Oh, here. He says, hey gang, I wanted to let Tim know that I'm completely on board with the comments about the definition of a dude. Growing up, I was always told that a dude was a horse's man parts. The actor Sam Elliott also backed up this theory in The Big Lebowski when he stated that dude is not a name anyone would use to refer to themselves where he comes from. He's a cowboy. In doing some further research, I found this article, a Wikipedia article, which also references it as an infected hair on an elephant's posterior. So I'm with you, Tim. Whether Webster classifies dude as something derogatory or not, there's certainly more than enough speculation around the word to grant it negative context. Thank you.
No.
Now, I also want to give you a little bit of knowledge and also clear up some confusion for Jen and Josh. The Doom, Doom, Doom tune you keep singing is most likely stuck in your head for the past 20 years from an old Mazda commercial. What the singer is actually saying is zoom, zoom, zoom. However, I have a little bit more background knowledge to this song due to some of my extracurricular activities. He drives a Mazda. Just kidding. I spent a considerable amount of time playing a game/martial art called capoeira, which most Americans playfully refer to as Brazilian breakdance fighting. It's actually really cool, and you should check it out on YouTube when you get a second. Anyways, one of the major parts of the game is singing songs that hold hidden meanings for the old slave culture of Brazil. One song is called Zoom Zoom Zoom, which is the sound a bee makes in the Portuguese language as opposed to our buzz. The song states Zoom Zoom Zoom, capoeira mata which means buzz buzz buzz, capoeira killed one. It would essentially warn people to not mess with the capoeiristas. I knew it was from a car commercial. We were joking.
Yeah.
Like we were kiddingly saying doom, doom, doom. I did not know.
German. Germans don't get that kind of humor.
He's German?
You said he was.
He did?
said Guten Tag.
Oh,
It doesn't-
well, yeah.
You say you open with German. I'm going to assign you as being German.
Now you know. And let's not put labels on people, okay? Now you know,
They're
and knowing
dry.
is half the
They don't
battle,
get-
right?
They don't get
He knows
sarcasm.
G.I. Joe. Hope I didn't scare Tim too much with all the B sounds in this email. Oh, man. Although it would be kind of fun to hear him scream again. I hope you are all doing well. I hope Jen has either birthed or is in the process of birthing your new bundle of no sleep. He is not a bundle of no sleep.
Not for you.
Not yet.
Either way, I wish for a speedy recovery for you and a little bit of sleep. Ben D.
He's actually sleeping really well. He just stays up really late. He stays up till like a little after midnight.
He takes after his parents.
And but sometimes he will sleep over 9 hours straight. But I'm starting to have to go back to work, which means I have to start waking him up at like 6:30 if he's still sleeping. And so I go to bed a little after midnight. Well, he goes to bed a little after midnight. I usually have a billion things to do still after he goes to bed. Then I have to wake up by 4 to pump because he sleeps too long. Then I go back to bed. Then I have to wake him up at 6 or 6:30. So he's getting a ton of sleep, just not me. It sucks. I don't want to go back to work. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're hearing that. Okay. I guess that's it, right? We're on some podcast networks, BenView Network.
You're not going
Retro
to talk
Junkies.
about why we haven't shared all the wacky things that happened to you.
Oh, I've been at the hospital more times than I care to talk about. The major thing, I guess, was I was driving my car home with 2 of my kids, and someone decided to run a red light and T-bone us. And I hurt a lot, but I was fine.
Did you hurt a lot? Did it stay? Did it
He's
persist?
still limping.
Yeah, I'm not limping
still
like
not walking.
I am today because I went to St. Louis. I walked a bunch.
It's still just
Basically,
your
like
calf?
where they hit the car, they were doing 50. They didn't even hit their brakes when they plowed into us. I had my little 2009 Ford Focus.
I thought you said that they did eventually. You could see their skid marks.
No, I talked to some of the witnesses about it,
Oh.
and they said he never even hit the brakes.
Hmm.
So they hit us. He hit us pretty hard, but we got really lucky with where they hit. So it was mostly the
Engine.
wheel well and the engine took it, and only like maybe 2 feet on my door panel got hit. So the door caved in and whacked into my leg. I felt like I got hit by like literally a sledgehammer, like came and like bashed into my leg. But I couldn't walk like the first 2 days at all. It hurt too bad. And Josh came to the hospital to my rescue to get me and take me home because I was stranded and Jenny was with the baby and whatever.
And it's like The Walking Dead at the hospital
Dude,
right now.
It was nuts. I was so scared when they wheeled me in there. I did not want to be there. It does.
Everybody has the flu.
Yeah,
and is
everybody looks like
dying.
a bunch of zombies.
And it was at night, so like there were no other methods of going to the doctor.
Yeah.
So, like everything was going straight through the emergency room. It was like, yeah.
I was only in there, like there were people in there that said they'd been there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And they let me in after like 15 minutes.
Right.
And so, yeah, they must not be prioritizing people with the flu or people that think they have the flu. Anyway.
I don't know why having the flu would ever be an emergency unless you're like dehydrated to the point of passing out. I mean, what? Why would you go to? It was like a Tuesday night. Why would you go to the
was a
ER at
Wednesday
9
night.
o'clock? 9 o'clock on a Wednesday because you think you have the flu.
They want to get medicine.
I don't know. I didn't get sick, which was nice. And
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I was vaccinated with the flu,
yeah,
so I don't know if I got.
We all were. I made everybody in our house.
I wore a
get it.
mask the whole time I was in the hospital too. except for
You
instance-
did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I got little kids. I don't need to be getting the flu.
yeah, no kidding. I told him not to even come. I was just going to wait outside for him. Like, I didn't want him anywhere near it. Anyway, so that stunk. Had some other things happen.
And then you got new cars.
Yeah.
New to you cars.
Oh, jeez.
Speaking of, did he tell you what happened?
No.
So he leaves for St. Louis Saturday morning. I didn't go out of town. I could have gone to St. Louis and like just had a fun weekend. Or also Nora had a really big cheer competition in St. Louis. She went with a friend. I could have gone and watched her and everything. But I was like, no, Max is starting daycare. I'm starting work. I have so much.
I need 4 or 5 days of prep.
Oh, I do. I was like, I need so much stuff to get done this weekend. I'm going to stay home. And we went to leave. I had a couple of the kids, and I went to leave yesterday morning after Tim was gone in my brand new car. I just got Thursday night, wouldn't start. I was so mad. I had to have somebody come and give us a jump. And then it happened again after like an hour.
She drove it to Washington Family Restaurant.
With a dead battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to call somebody else to come jump it. And then
I called the
was
owner of the dealership, and I was like, my wife is very angry.
You did?
Yeah.
You told him that?
Well, no, I used a different word.
Hmm.
Actually, I used an expletive and then a different word.
Huh. He was nice. The owner called me and told me to bring it in. And we had to sit there a while, wait for somebody to come and jump it again. And then I was like, I'm not shutting this car off until we get there. Yeah. And then they gave me the exact same kind of car, just less fancy stuff inside to use this weekend, a loaner to use. So it got
Why
better.
didn't they just replace your battery? They think it might be something else?
They didn't even look at it. Well,
it was the end of the day.
Took it.
Yeah.
It was Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
They just took it and they were like, "We'll look at it Monday," and they just
And this
gave
is
me a
Mike
car.
Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I
sounds.
have a sordid history with that.
I know
place.
you do.
He sounds. He's famous around here because he's on all
He's
these
not
commercials.
famous.
He's on all these commercials because people know who he is because he's like,
He's not
"It's
famous.
Mike Miller." And
He has a distinct voice,
He has
and
a
he's very narcissistic and likes to be in his commercials.
Have you so you know how like people do those drawings, they have like a piece of paper with like a little drawing and the kids will draw the same thing. Like would they color it? I mean,
I have no. Just say kids color
all right,
things.
so kids color things at place like it's Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
So you have a turkey.
Yes. Get all the kids to draw turkeys.
Well, they color this one turkey.
Right, and they hang them up.
He's got one that's a turkey, but his face is the turkey's face, and his face is up on this wall like 150
Hundreds of turkeys
times.
with his face on it.
It's so funny.
Anyway, people know who he is because he's on commercials and he talks in it and he has a very distinctive voice. And when he called me, obviously it's his real
Hi,
voice.
Jen. This is Mike Miller.
Yeah, it was like, he's not like overdoing it in the commercial.
No, that's him.
That is exactly
Yeah.
how he sounded. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, I would know his voice anywhere. He could never like sneak up on somebody and try to pretend he was someone else.
Yeah.
He's my boss's brother-in-law.
I know.
So I called his cell phone. Anyway, that's it. That's our podcast.
You have one of your 2 newly acquired vehicles so
Yeah.
far.
In our possession.
Yeah, his car was totaled, and we decided to trade in our van and get 2, not new, but new-ish cars.
Than his car.
They were newer than his old car. And so I have a much smaller car now because I used to have the van. Like, we did it really backwards. Instead of getting a bigger car when we had a baby, we were like, well, let's
Downsize.
Let's cut our space in half. Why not?
Well, I mean, there's so few times where we actually have all the kids. And Jenny does a ton of driving. It didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Did they value your pain and suffering yet?
No, not even close. They said they wait until all the soft tissue stuff is handled before they begin to talk about it.
Gotcha.
And my soft tissue stuff is not resolved.
Yeah.
Oh, this might take a while.
I know.
Dude, it
Do they know
hurts,
who you're
man.
dealing with?
Yeah, I was going to say.
It hurts.
I stubbed my pinky toe.
No.
That cropped up, a couple weeks ago
Whatever.
because I have soft tissue damage. I think I'm gonna need a work waiver for a couple days.
He's never really started walking normal from when he hurt his knee in soccer.
Yeah.
I have too. I can walk normal. I can't run yet. My right knee from that soccer thing is still jacked. My left leg.
Right, that's what I just said, and you just tried to.
No, I'm normal.
And then you're like,
But
well,
it's still
just,
jacked.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So yeah, we've
okay.
had a lot of bad luck.
You'll never play basketball with Max, but that
Not the way I should.
no.
Dude, I was crawling around. We went to the city museum today. I couldn't crawl up into anything. I felt like a 60-year-old man trying to crawl around and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I can't do this. Can't take it. Made me sad.
I'm gonna tell him about our luck, our good luck horseshoe.
Well, do it.
So when we were in Texas, I am.
Should I tell him about this thing?
When we were in Texas, Tim bought this horseshoe from some random shop.
It was like an old antique
Yeah.
shop.
Sure.
It was like a
And
real used horseshoe.
he said,
I'm sure.
I never even have heard of this, but Tim said that you're supposed to hang the horseshoe up over your
I think the
door.
barn door is
Your-
what it was originally.
your doorway, and it brings you good luck.
Right.
And like just 2 days before his car wreck,
You hung it up finally?
No. It's been hanging up in our bedroom. Yana just for some reason was in the room talking to me, and she doesn't really come in there. So she saw the horseshoe for the first time.
Did she know it was a horseshoe?
Yeah, she goes, she knew exactly what it was and the meaning, and she goes, "Oh no, your horseshoe is upside down. All your luck is gonna run out of it." So we've had it upside down this whole time because that was the
I
easy
have had
way.
kind of a hard year.
Yeah, that was the easy way to hang it. And she's like, "Oh, all the luck runs out when you do it like that." And we're like, I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." And I was thinking, how the heck do you know anything about this? But so I kept thinking I need to tell Tim to flip the horseshoe, and then
Too late.
he got in that wreck, and then I was like,
Throw that
"Oh."
horseshoe out the window.
As soon as
And then
he
I
called me,
came home and I picked it up off the doorway.
yeah, we flipped it, but
It's right side up, but I don't have it hanging yet.
yeah, it's just on the dresser. But I was like, it's my fault because they didn't tell him to flip the horseshoe.
Yep.
We have
that
zero
was it.
horseshoes at our house.
I had never even heard of that, and
I've heard of it, but
I'm surprised that Yana knew anything about it.
that is, yeah, I agree.
All right, that's the podcast. We ran longer than we were going to.
So every time we try and record, it's been like forever since we recorded.
Yeah, I know.
There'd be a cheerleading thing, or I've been sleeping too much today, so I'm tired. Or
That was a Tim excuse.
no, I'm pretty sure that was you once.
What?
I'm pretty sure that was you once.
No.
It's never Jenny. Jenny's never responsible for it.
She flexed today to make herself available.
Even
She
though
had a solid 9 hours of prepare for Max going to preschool slotted in.
No, I didn't. It is a big deal. You have no idea how much it has
I have
to go
no
into
idea how much it feels to be a parent sending your child to daycare.
You say it like you're being sarcastic.
Because I know exactly how it feels. I just
When
don't.
did your kids have to go to
Megan
daycare?
had to go back to work, so she, in order to get her maternity leave for Job, she had to go back and work for 3 weeks. So she got her full paid maternity leave, then worked for 3 weeks and then quit. So he had to go to, it wasn't like daycare. It was our in-laws, her mom's house.
Okay.
Okay. Different still.
It's slightly different.
Well,
It's still giving
in
up your
3
kid.
weeks, he's still going to be in daycare. But I'm not talking about just giving him up. I'm talking about all the preparation and things I have to think
We have to
about.
write his name on every single piece of a bottle.
Yeah.
I have to think of all this stuff I have to bring them.
Why you should get a brand.
I need to get a label maker. But no, like all
Label
the...
makers don't work. Brands are forever.
What is that?
That's a hot piece of metal that you stab into things and it puts what you branded on it.
Okay. A real brand.
A brand.
So just like the pumping equipment and the stuff to cool the milk, just that alone takes so much mental energy, like remembering.
I don't know
having-
how.
But you already have it all in
Yeah,
the
but
back.
you have everything. There's like a million pieces that you have to wash and remember
There's
to
not
put
a
in the
million
bag.
pieces. There's the hose, there's the yellow thing, there's the little white plastic thing, and there's the bottles, and then there's the cup. That's all you have to clean.
All right, I'm going to end this
I have
conversation
cleaned
because it's not going to go
Modelo
anywhere.
pumps for years.
You clean Medela pumps?
Yes.
It's not going to do me any service, and I have to use the bathroom. So
You said that like it's a side job, like you clean Medela pumps.
Yeah, the neighbors bring them over.
all right,
I got all the attachments
that's
to clean
it.
them out.
It was a great podcast. Fun hanging with you guys. May the force be with
May
you.
the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Did you hear that? We're doomed.
This podcast is a part of the BenView Network.
You can find this and other podcasts like it at BenViewNetwork.com.